We all envision like millionaire status, problems are gone, I'm happy, I'm satisfied in life. So overwhelmed, exhausted, burnt out. Your husband is Dan Martell. You have always been seen kind of as this powerhouse couple and two self-made entrepreneurs, self-made millionaires.
Our assistants have assistants.
Do you remember how you made your first dollar as an entrepreneur?
I was having a conversation with a friend who runs a big agency, and she ended up buying it. I remember Amy Porterfield came up to me and she's like, here's my phone number, let's stay in touch. It really started when Dan got his first supercar, and it was the only McLaren in the province. Confidence doesn't come from studying it. Agency, we've co-founded the same year I had both of my babies. We don't want to raise entitled kids that become lazy. If I met 20-year-old Renee, I'd say get the nose job sooner. I really like this sweater. I look at the price and it was like 700 euros. And I'm like, oh, okay.
What advice would you have for anyone who's watching this or listening to this right now who is a service provider? I'm here with Renee Warren, a friend, a contact of mine from Canada. And here we are in Barcelona, right in my home. And Renee has been so kind to stop by and have a little chat with me. And I'm super excited to dig into what you're all about these days, which is rich girl energy. Rich girl energy and really stepping into that millionaire version of yourself. I say millionaire, but we could talk about billionaire too. There's no limits. So I'm gonna ask Renee the $1 million questions and get her take on life and family and business and all those beautiful things while she's traveling Barcelona right now. So yeah, welcome to my home, Renee.
Yeah.
Thanks for being here.
Oh gosh, thanks for having me. It is such a beautiful spot.
Yes, it is a beautiful home. And we've chatted on your podcast before, but it's always such a treat when someone can come into the city and hang out with me and dig into life and business. So my first question for you is, because I gathered you have a long history of entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
Do you remember how you made your first dollar as an entrepreneur? How did that happen?
So back in like the 90s, my sister and I started a jewelry company. We're super crafty, the both of us. She's 3 years older. And we would buy all these beads and tools and put jewelry together and sell it at markets. So I can't remember the exact time it was like the first dollar.
Yeah, pre-Etsy, right? That was all in person.
Yeah. But I was like, 12, so I don't know how long ago that was.
Oh, you started as a teenager, as a kid, yeah.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah. And then, fast forward to 17 years old, when we had the opportunity to take over the lease of a restaurant. So then we technically started a restaurant.
You and your sister?
Yeah.
Wow.
I know. And it was seasonal, so we only had to do it in the summer times when we were out of school.
And this was in Ontario?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
And it was this beautiful place, like right on the beach, overlooking the lake. And I remember the morning, my mom's like, you need to go and get a job. So you need to get your social insurance number and get all this stuff organized. And I started applying for jobs, interviewing. I think I even showed up for a couple. And I'm like, this is stupid. I hate this. So I'm like, entrepreneurs make a lot of money and they don't work a lot. So why don't I just do that? And sure enough, we did very well.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What kind of restaurant was it?
Like a snack bar kind of thing.
Okay.
But we handmade everything.
Wow.
It was a lot. Hired friends, hired my mom's friends.
Wow.
And it was pre tap days. So we were literally rolling wads of cash at the end of the day and storing the till underneath our beds at home.
Wow. That's so cool. And then you were still in charge of buying the food, the produce, managing expenses. So that was like a real world experience to dive in immediately as a teenager.
Oh, yeah.
And were you hooked from that point on to be an entrepreneur?
I think so. Yeah. I mean, that's probably the hardest I've ever worked from like a learning intensity perspective, because I'd never had a job before. So this was like 70, 80-hour weeks.
Yeah.
If it was hot, if it was cold, if it was busy or not, and learned a lot. But I loved it because I understood very quickly that if you are good at what you do, restaurants like really tough, but also it's quite simple. Just have really great food and great customer service. Like that's it. That's what we did. And it was consistent, and people would wait like an hour to get like a corn dog pogo from us.
Do you remember what you made that summer with your restaurant?
I remember one summer, because gosh, this was so long ago, we had like $15,000 cash.
Wow, by the end of it.
Yeah. And we divvied it up. I know.
That's nice.
And we're also paying ourselves $3 an hour more than minimum wage.
Wow.
So like $10 an hour.
Yeah.
It was like so much money because everyone else was getting paid like $6 whatever and working at Canadian Tire and like shift work. I mean,
Yeah. Barbacks. Yeah.
oh yeah.
Yeah. So did you jump into the agency world after that, or did you go to school? Where was your head at?
Undergrad, I did Laurier, so I did business, traveled, did a year in Australia, which was fun. Postgrad. And I got into like, my first and only ever corporate job for maybe 2 years in downtown Toronto was a company that had big contracts with like Scotiabank and big banks and telcos to train their entrepreneurs. So I would help the company I worked with come up with the training, create the events, and get bums and seats at these events.
A training for press world at that point?
No, it was just business.
Oh, okay.
So like Staples was a client, and they would actually clear out the furniture section in the back, and they'd have a pro entrepreneur come in and offer free training to entrepreneurs on like how to host your first webinar, how to use social media for your business. So I did that for a bit. And then this weird thing called Twitter came into our life. So there was like MySpace and Facebook, which was a social, but it was pretty much locked down. Twitter was like the open concept, right? You can talk to anybody from wherever in the world.
Yeah.
And I was using it personally, but also understood the concept for business, because this was like businesses were like, how could we use this for business? And that's when I won an award for like one of the top 10 social media influencers in Toronto back in like 2008.
Wow.
2009. And I won
As a personal brand?
yeah.
Wow.
I know. Then I won tickets wherever Virgin America flew in North America. So I did round trip to San Francisco a few times because that's where Dan lived at the time. Yeah. And that's when businesses were like, can we hire you to help us understand how to do this and implement it? So I had brands like College Pro Painters, lawyers, accountants come up and say, like, how do we do this? And this is when I started an agency and I didn't even know it, because I was still like doing other things, and I left that job, only corporate job, to go into this full time. And it just kind of spiraled from there.
We were on a very similar path at that same time in Toronto. That's so interesting. So you kind of fell into agency life, and then how did you make your first million?
So I remember the moment that it happened that we set up our business to make $1 million.
Your agency?
It was, yeah. So the agency was a demand marketing agency. So I had the content marketing and social media expertise, and I partnered with a woman who was really good in PR. And so then we offered this full service, whatever. And when we had enough data after the first year to realize how much work went into doing content and social versus just PR, we actually stopped offering those two services, which meant at the time, like getting rid of 50% of our revenue. But knowing that within a couple months, we could like 3x it. So I remember one night sitting across the table from my business partner, Heather, and I was like, we have a wait list of people to work with us.
Wow.
We need to increase our prices. That's the first thing we got to do. And she's like, well, how much are we going to cost it? What's it going to look like? Totally forgetting to full circle that conversation, left the meeting. The first thing in the morning, the next day, we had a meeting with a prospect who was like, gave him the quick, like cold notes, 10-minute meeting. He was already invested. So he's like, okay, send over the contract. Oh, but wait, how much does this cost? And we had already said we're just doing the PR for him. And I looked at Heather and was like, oh my God. Like, we forgot to talk about how much we're going to charge. At the time, it was like a $5K a month package. And so I just kind of threw out, it's $10K a month on a 6-month retainer. And she looked at me and she's like, what the fuck? Like, thinking we're going to lose this client. He's like, sounds good. Send over the contract. We'll get going. And hung up the phone. I looked at her. I was like, whoa, this changed everything.
Yeah.
Then we did the math. And we're like, if we make $83,333,000 a month, that's $1 million a year business. And that was like 2 months later, was because of that change and actually simplifying our offer was when we made our first $83K a month. And then it was $1 million a year business. And it grew from there.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then because your clients are now paying anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000 plus a month, you actually needing fewer clients to hit that revenue. So what was your health and happiness level like at that time when you hit your first $1 million? Because we all envision like millionaire status, problems are gone, I'm happy, I'm satisfied in life. I had the same perception too. And did your life change when you hit $1 million?
So also that agency that we've co-founded the same year I had both of my babies. So the boys are 11 months apart.
Okay.
So it's like incorporated, had a baby.
Wow.
Then a few months later, found out I was pregnant again, had another baby, celebrated 1 year in the business. So it was really, really tough because there was a lot of things we were navigating. Back then, we didn't have the help like we have now. We had nothing. We had a family member willing to take them to daycare a little bit earlier than most daycares would. And that was it. And it was like, it was a lot of me, a lot on me. Dan was traveling a lot for his startup and new city for me. It's not like it was on the East Coast of Canada. It was Dan's city, not mine.
Oh, you were on the East Coast at that point. Okay.
So I didn't have family except for his.
Yeah.
Very few friends. And this was when, like, there were so many moments when I backed my brand new car into Dan's car because I was just so exhausted. Trying to run to a team all hands meeting and, like, just dropping the ball. And, like, I remember one time when I dropped the boys off at daycare, I drove to the office and I was parking the car. I was like, I feel like I forgot something. I look in the back seat, forgot to bring Noah in. So drove back to daycare and said, here's the other kid. Sorry about this. And all these things were happening. I just went home and I said, Dan, listen, like, I can't keep doing this. I am so overwhelmed, exhausted, burnt out.
Yeah.
And this is when the business was like just growing. Like this was when all of these things were happening, turning it into $1 million a year business and plus. So that's when we decided to get a night nanny. And then we decided to hire a cleaning lady for 2 days a week. And all of these roles eventually became into a full-time house manager.
Yeah.
And that, I mean, we couldn't do what we do now without that help.
Yeah.
And we have like, our assistants have assistants. Like it's
Just for the family.
yeah, family.
Ooh.
Dan's EA stuff too.
Okay, so for a little bit of context, your husband is Dan Martell. You may know him because he's massive on YouTube. He just hit 2 million subscribers. And you have always been seen kind of as this powerhouse couple and two self-made entrepreneurs, self-made millionaires, correct? When the two of you met, were you quite young? Was it pre-business life?
I was already doing like the consulting thing. And he was living in San Francisco and he had sold his first company. But I also moved to San Francisco to be with him. And just to paint the picture, it was a 3-bedroom apartment that we shared with roommates and we didn't have a car.
Okay.
So they wasn't like glorious by any means.
Yeah.
And yeah, we worked on it and worked. So we had those tough times, which I think is really grounding for us because we both didn't come from a lot of money. I came from a very loving home and a supportive home, but it's like we had the things we needed, right? And Dan did not have that childhood. His was very colorful.
Okay, yes. I know a little of this story.
Yeah. So I think that he had that drive to like prove his worth and value. And I was not the anti way my parents wanted me to kind of live my life. My mom wanted to be a teacher or a nurse. I just wanted something different. He was a perfect complement for somebody that's like, hey, let's go. Like full send, climb this mountain.
Yeah.
Which we're still climbing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still climbing. So what does your life look like now today with your business, Dan's business, and you said there's even household staff to help you manage it? Do you care to share what is
so creepy,
a little household
your life?
Staff? I know.
Well, we're currently world schooling the boys.
Ooh, what's up?
So Dan's been asking me for a decade. So we pulled them out of school and we're homeschooling them while traveling the world.
So hence being here in October when most kids are in school. Yeah.
So we have an incredible educator that's come with us who's helped us. But Dan and I actually participate a lot in the schooling. Like right before coming here, I spent a whole hour and a bit with Noah going through some things. But we have a house manager full-time. Her name's Betty, back home. She does things like laundry and groceries and school pickup and, you know, getting like soccer cleats and making sure the homework's done. so that when Dan and I show up, it's like really good quality time. And I'm talking, we have dinners together every night.
Yeah.
Dan puts the kids to bed every single night. I do the morning routine. Like we have a structure and a flow and it works for us. Yeah. But we also have a lot of help.
Yeah.
Like Dan's EA has an assistant, which is crazy.
Yeah. You have a lot of help, but you're doing a lot of things.
Oh, so much so.
The two of you. Yeah.
Like I'm here.
Yeah. You're here.
If I was doing the homeschooling myself, I mean, my kids would probably be on their iPads back there, but
Yeah.
they're at home. Our life is very busy. He is very go, go, go. And I'm very much like, I'll show up and I'll match your energy when I have that energy. Mm-hmm. But he understands I don't always want to do that stuff. Hence why it took him a decade to convince me to world school. Because I'm like, can't do this anytime before this. Mm-hmm. And we're only like week 3.
Oh, I was going to say, how are you liking it? But it's still pretty fresh.
It is.
Yeah.
Maybe week 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, almost a whole month. We're all just getting situated.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
And what does that mean? Are you going to be on the road for the foreseeable future? Are you going back to Canada or?
So we go home for January and then we're back on the road again.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
It's kind of nice. I mean, you're living in, is it Kelowna now?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you get to miss a little bit of Canadian winter, which isn't terrible, but it's nice to be in the warmth in wintertime.
Well, we get to go home and be in the best part of winter. Yeah. So we have a place in the mountain. We go skiing.
Yeah, exactly.
And then we spend, we think term 2 in like South America or Central America. We're following the sunshine.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, winter in Barcelona is beautiful. It's kind of like a perpetual fall. You get to wear all your fall jackets. But if I could, I'd probably be in Mexico or something like that for at least January, February, and March. I feel like those months.
It's cold.
It's cold. It's just the holiday seasons are done. So the vibe is a little chiller and it's just, you know what? It's sometimes colder in your home than it is outside.
Oh, interesting.
The homes are not insulated. So you're freezing inside and then you step outside. You're like, oh, it's 15 degrees. It feels lovely.
Yeah. I remember Australia's like that because I lived in Melbourne for a year and their homes are essentially built to withstand the heat, not to keep the heat.
Same.
So you're like really cold inside and you go out and it's like, it's 20 degrees.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the life, like going back to the question is, there's a lot of support and it took me so long to be okay in getting that support. Mm-hmm. That was the biggest thing because if it was up to Dan, he'd be like, all these people would be working with us in the home. And I was like, how about one person?
Yeah.
And she manages it all. She manages the landscaping. She manages like hot tub stuff. And there's certain things that I still love to do. Like I love cleaning my car. The craziest thing.
Yeah.
But it was just the work and being okay with being taken care of.
Yeah.
Which is hard for women.
Yeah, for sure. And I've noticed too with your own branding and marketing recently, you're really coming out in a new, bolder, more confident way. You're showing more of the lifestyle through your imagery. Or there's the photo shoots with you and Dan and the car and the fit couple. I remember seeing your fit couple pictures. And you're really showing like life on that other side, the rich girl energy, if you will. And then on the flip side, you've got 2 young boys who've probably seen you grow from starting from scratch to where you're at today. What are some of your parenting philosophies as you're bringing them on this journey, this whirlwind travel year, the tutors? You know, how do you give them a sense of groundedness and not entitlements when you and Dan have accomplished so much and you still are going to do so much?
I think that, I mean, other than like the handful of like super luxurious things that we own in terms of like cars and some jewelry, we're still pretty like, we're not very lavish. We like to upgrade to business class and we'll like to stay in 5-star hotels every now and then. But we still honor the fact that we don't need to live that lifestyle. And quite frankly, it's just like, we're not trying to keep up with the Joneses.
Yeah.
But we always tell the boys, we're rich, you're not. And if they want anything, they have to pay for it themselves. So they have to come up with creative ways to like earn the money. And then if there's something that's expensive, like Max wanted a gaming console for his birthday last year and it was $2,000. I'm like, you have to pay for half. And he's like, yep, 100%. And we've worked out this agreement because our philosophy is that we don't want to raise entitled kids that become lazy. because we know the idea of like the third generation of wealth, right? They tend to be the ones that just like piss it all away. And then that fourth generation has to come in and start over. So we want to break this cycle because they would technically be the second generation.
Yeah.
And we want to teach them the philosophies to maintain this wealth. So Noah, who's 12, has stock in like Google. And we're just teaching him how he can take his money, whatever it was, like $80 or $90, whatever it was, and how that money can make money.
Yeah.
Kids are never taught this.
Yeah.
Same with Max. We're like, Max, what do you want to be when you grow up? It's like the question we ask our kids. He wants to be a video editor.
Oh, cool.
Right. So at 12 years old in our home, you're invited to earn a cell phone.
Yeah. I'm always looking for a video contractor. He wants to go, he knows CapCut. Let's talk.
Oh my gosh. He's insane with CapCut.
I bet.
His problem right now being a 13-year-old boy is that he doesn't have the attention span to like sit through an hour-long clip and know what is actually good content. He's not there yet.
Yeah.
But in terms of like how to use the technology, he starts YouTube channels all the time and he'll get like hundreds of subscribers, thousands of views, and hundreds of comments like that.
Wow.
They know how to use the platform.
You can monetize that.
Seriously, you could probably wash your stuff.
Yeah.
Here's my advice. So Max, he's really interested in video editing stuff. So when we gave him the option to buy a phone or to have a phone, they had to do 8 hours worth of studying and answer a bunch of questions before we could give them the phone. So, okay, video editing is interest. So there was like 6 or 7 different like Mr. Beast videos, Andy Frisella, some random videos that we put together that talked about this particular topic that he had to watch and study, and we'd have him answer questions, which got him closer to earning the phone. So that they don't feel like everything's going to be a handout to them. They have to put in like a little sweat in order to earn it. Plus they're learning a lot because now he can be like, well, I don't really like this video editing thing.
Yeah.
But he's really great at it. He started to do some stuff for me. There's actually a video that I shared the other day of me in my sweats walking behind a pillar, and then I come out the other side wearing a pig skirt.
Yeah.
He did that.
Wow.
I know.
So
it took him like
shot it to know.
5 minutes.
He filmed it and then edited it.
Oh, yeah.
It looked like a really smooth transition.
I know. And
I thought it was your
like
person.
Fingers going, editing this thing in CapCut. He's like highlighting stuff, erasing stuff. And I'm like, wow. Whoa. And then he goes, what about this? And I am like, dude, like those kids, because they've been exposed to technology ever since they were little.
Yeah.
And like playing games and Roblox and stuff. They just understand how to use it. So the philosophy in terms of like making sure they're not entitled. Also, it was like Max wanted to learn how to be a better editor. So we saw this course he could buy for $50. And we're like, yeah, just pay us $50 and we'll buy it for you. And it's the first time he ever got scammed. Yeah, because it wasn't essentially
what?
The
online course world? He found a fakes? Wow.
It was like they really, really like juiced up the offer. And like when he got it, he goes, I already know all this stuff. And Dan's like, well, did you read the reviews? Did you actually research this person?
Interesting.
And like, it's not beyond us to understand that these kids are living a privileged life, but we remind them all the time.
Yeah.
And like whenever we go to restaurants, they read and order their own meals. We're not going to order for them. We get into an airport, they navigate the airport themselves. They tell us where to go. So there's like things that we try our best so that they're not entitled, but it's inevitable.
Yeah.
I mean, like for all the generations, like your kids too, there's going to be things that we just forget about. And
yeah, well, I think about this a lot because my husband and I started having kids later in our late 30s. And by that time, my husband had sold a company and I'd already become a self-made millionaire as well through my business. And so I'm older and I kind of want things to be comfortable. Yeah. So I'm going to pay for comforts for myself, but I don't want my kids to feel like by default they also deserve those comforts. So I remember someone saying that when they do have this larger amount of wealth, they make sure to give themselves and their kids both high and low experiences. So high would be like, I'm going to pay for that first class seat. Low would be, we're going to fly standby in economy or something like that. So keeping the perspective that you're not always staying at a 5-star chateau in the Costa Brava, which is what we just did a couple weekends ago with my points even. But sometimes you're going to stay in like a 3-star, hostel camp style home just because of the location or whatever. So I think that's something that we're going to take going forward too, that you're going to get the whole gamut of experiences, especially my husband being from Kenya. Like we'll take the kids to Nairobi and they'll see a whole different, side of life. And I think that exposure is important, as well as making them feel like you're working for this. This is not something we're just giving to you. If you want something, we'll help you figure out how to earn it. That's how I was raised. And it's the reason why I had the burn to be an entrepreneur, and probably for you as well. So
I wanted the flexibility to make my own schedule. That was the biggest thing for me.
Yeah. As a young mom, or just in general?
In general.
That was always your...
Yeah. Like, I just don't want to have to clock in at 9, leave at 5. Like, I get it, there are days we have to do this, but...
That was my motivation too. Travel. Get out of the office and go travel.
Work from wherever.
Yeah.
But with the kids, it's like, I love the high-low thing too. We have a couple standards that we have in place that some people don't agree with, but one is that my kids don't fly business on like short flights. Like if we're doing a red eye and we can get them into a lay down, 100%. Like sleep's important, but they'll ride in the back with our traveling educator. And Dan and I will sit in business, so they don't care. And here's the thing about kids too, is like they actually don't really care for that much. Like we reflected on the best memory they had of Barcelona yet was when it was pissing rain the other day and they happened to be outside playing football on a pitch somewhere. And there was like Dan, the 2 boys, some guys from the media team, and they were just soaking wet, but they were just diving in the water, and that was their memory. And we've gone and done some really cool things too. And then even just like, if Max had it his way, he'd have a comfortable bed that's not too hot and really great Wi-Fi, and he's totally fine. That's it. Like he doesn't care about anything else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They are good reminders of those simple things, especially I find as I get older, I'm a little bit more rigid, a little less flexible in, back in the day, you'd sleep on your friend's couch to crash with them. And now I'm like, no, hotel, privacy, I'm less go with the flow. But kids they remind you that you can still relax and you'll still survive these experiences. So
they do. Actually, our first flight of the entire trip, the entire world's going trip got canceled. And it was perfectly set up where we're doing a red eye out of Vancouver at like 9 p.m. And so we could sleep the night and we would wake up morning here.
Of course.
And we've done this was the 3rd time. So it worked out great. Jet lag was only gnarly for a couple days. But our first flight got canceled, so we actually missed our connection in Vancouver. So they put us on the morning flight, which was fine. Got a hotel, 9 a.m. flight. So we slept the night, and then we boarded the plane only to get here in the morning, so still had the whole day.
Yeah.
So it ended up making our jet lag last a week.
Yeah. And it's tough to ride in the morning.
So tough.
Yeah.
But we learned some pretty deep lessons.
Yeah.
That, like, even when it comes to, like, teaching kids the learning days, call them learning days, makes no sense if a kid is tired, sick, overstimulated, because they're not going to comprehend anything. And even today was a rough go with Noah because he was sick yesterday. Fine today. And he just couldn't learn. He couldn't sit there. His eyes were crossing. So we're like, you know what? Today's not a learning day.
Yeah.
As in academically. But we always like deposit mini micro moments of learning all the time throughout the day. Could be like, Noah, can you use ChatGPT to find the best places in Bangkok for 12-year-old boys? Like, what are the cool things to do? So he thinks it's a fun game, but I'm really teaching him how to use ChatGPT, how to use prompts, and like how to research this stuff. And like, that's the thing is, like, schooling or like education happens at home, and every kid is homeschooled. It's just up to the parents to recognize it.
Yeah. Speaking of ChatGPT and having teenage boys, what's your take on education in the future? Are you going to be pushing them to go to university, or are you going to allow them to follow their interests, whether it's entrepreneurial or not? And what's your take on AI with their education?
Well, oh my gosh, those opportunities don't even exist yet for them. So honestly, it's up to them. Whatever they want to do, we'll support. But also, I mean, we all already see it in colleges and universities that the enrollment rate is dropping, because we're starting to see we don't need to take these bird courses to be educated, to be a professional teacher.
Right.
So for them, it's really about skills development and not learning. So right now they're kind of struggling through these components of their school that they're doing now that forces them to read stuff about Cyclops and Zeus, and they're just not interested in it. And so they can't just sit through these articles. If we had it our way, it wouldn't be about that. It'd be about football and Ronaldo and Messi. It's really about skill development. So when they're sitting there struggling through a math equation, long form division, I'm never going to need to use this. I can use a calculator. We're yeah, but it's not the point of actually coming up with the right answer. It's being able to solve a problem based on the instructions you were given. So they're starting to understand that. It's just, I think the most important thing, if there's only a couple areas that need to focus on, especially at this age, is can you read, can you write, can you do basic math? Because from there, you can do anything. So up until grade 3, kids go to school to learn to read, and then after that, they read to learn. And so if they can get their reading in early, it just makes everything else easier. Yeah.
That's a good tip for me with my young kids.
There you go.
And I don't know what we're going to do either. If we're going to, stick with the school system, which means you are in that one city for however long you stay. It doesn't sound as appealing. I like the flexibility of being able to be nomadic, which we are. We're between Canada and Spain at this point. So yeah, it's interesting how fast things are moving.
Yes.
I want to go back to your agency life where you're hitting those $1 million years. You have young kids at home. In fact, I think when I met you a few years ago, you were still in the agency world or running the agency world. So how did you go from, I know I'm probably talking about a 10-year span or something like that, but how did you go from this agency popping off to now, what are you focused on, especially as this? I really see you as a cheerleader for women, especially with this rich girl energy vibe that you're tapping into. So how did you go from the agency life to where you're at today?
I was so tired of the world of PR because it's constant. There's no crossing a finish line. It's just go, go, go. And I remember the moment, there was a clear moment. The kids were in bed. It was 9 p.m. and I was working from the kitchen counter answering emails. And Dan came downstairs looking for me because usually I'm in bed way before that. He's like, "What are you doing?" I'm answering emails, pitching, following up. And he's like, "Yeah, I see that, but really, what are you doing?" Because I had already alluded to getting out of the industry. And I just said, "I don't know. I'm known for this. I'm good at it. It's easier for me to grow a business. So why don't I just keep the course?"
Yeah.
He's like, "For what?" And I just knew it. I was pouring all this time and energy and education into making other people's brands grow, but was not doing that for myself. And that was a moment I was like, okay, I'm going to give myself a deadline to either sell this company or close it down with no shame or judgment. I'm literally walking away. And so I put that intention into the universe. And then it wasn't 3 months later, I was having a conversation with a friend who runs a big agency. She's like, "Hey, we're actually looking to create a complete agency and we're looking for somebody in PR. So tell me about your business."
Oh, wow.
And she ended up buying it. And I helped it's been almost a year now that I stepped away completely.
Wow.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Not many people get to the point where they can sell a service-based business because usually they are the person doing all the services and then there's nothing really to sell if it doesn't come with the person, So you figured out a way to systematize.
That's it.
Into a
first
product.
Agency that we worked with funded technology companies only. We were going through deep due diligence with a company in Ontario that was going to buy it. And this was the gnarliest experience for me. And we said no eventually. I learned so much about how to set up a business to sell. So then when I started the second one, I was like, oh, I'll just take this framework and then plug in this new agency, because I was working with like female entrepreneurs, not tech bros.
Right.
Completely different demographic. Plus with like using artificial intelligence and really cool software, I was able to do things quicker and better. Came up with a whole way of implementing PR within an organization that near the end of the days, I was actually creating the PR strategy and essentially like mini PR departments for personal brands, teaching their assistants how to do PR for the personal brand.
For the founder.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And that's
so hot right now, actually.
That's what people wanted.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
oh, for you.
this is so easy. Let me show you how to do this. So that's what made it lucrative. The client base, the month over month growth, and like the systems and processes.
Yeah. Okay, so what advice would you have for anyone who's watching this or listening to this right now who is a service provider? Maybe they're a freelancer. Most of my audiences they're coaches and service providers, and they've got a handful of clients. They're anywhere between 5 to 10K a month, and a lot of times they're experiencing burnout because they are the main service provider. It's all on their shoulders. So what advice would you give them?
Oh gosh. Okay, so initially, and most people like poo-poo this idea because they don't see the value in it, is always, as a foundation, create your business to sell, even if you have no intention to sell it.
Yeah.
Because what happens is that people ask the questions, you like pull your P&Ls and pull your SOPs. It's like, ta-da, you've already got it created. It also makes it easier to train somebody. Hire an assistant. And this could be like 5 hours a week, 10 hours a week. I have Morgan. She's 30 hours a week now, and I could use her for 40. But when she first started, it was 10 hours a week. But it's not just like she's taking 10 hours a week off my plate. It's also the mental load. It's also she increases her capacity because she gets good at what she was assigned, and then she can take on more. And so 10 hours ends up being at least 20 hours in my brain. Mm-hmm. And that's like how you get to the next level, is that help.
Yeah.
You can't do it without that support.
Yeah, I agree. I had an agency too for a couple of years, and I was always between 5 to 10K. And then the only way to get beyond that was I had contractors, and then I turned my services into digital products, which has put me in the course world that I'm in today now. Yeah. So, yeah.
Great.
Did you read the book Built to Sell?
Yeah.
Yeah, that book's coming to mind right now. If you haven't read that book, I'd recommend it. What do you think? I think so. Yeah.
Yes.
For service-based businesses, I think it's key.
100%.
Yeah.
Also, Mike Michalowicz's profit first approach to like looking at your numbers.
Yes.
In my previous agency, we worked with Greg Crabtree. He wrote the book Simple Numbers. He's an accountant, super boring stuff. But most people never have a sense of their finances because they think that's for the controller or for an accountant or bookkeeper. But you have to know.
Yeah.
Like I was checking my bank account every single day when I had my first agency. And so we worked with them, and they would submit these monthly reports that were like really long and like all these line items. And I was like, I don't know what I'm looking at. My one task was to know if I needed to hire more people from my team or to hit the ground running selling. And so I had one line item to look at, and it was called the labor efficiency ratio. The LER is basically if your team is over or underworked. So if they're underworked, it means you don't have enough clients. And if they're overworked, it means you have to hire. So I knew, I saw that number. And if it was like, and I can't remember what it was like. If it was a 3 or 4, we're good. If it was like a 6 or 7, they were overworked. Wow. So we'd go and hire, or we'd outsource, or we'd cut back our offers. And it was like just that one thing I needed to look at. And that's what the trajectory of our business was like, poof, because of that.
That's cool. You're just focusing on, do we need more clients or do I need more support to support our clients? And you kept your focus clear, and then you had that hockey stick growth.
Yeah.
Sounds so simple. Sometimes we're all doing 10 different things in our business, but most success stories are when you scale back to the one thing that's really working.
We have a sign in the studio called Simple Skills. Mm-hmm. And even for us, so now I have a company called the Pink Skirt Project. And one of the things we do, so we had our first inaugural event this past June, over 300 women. And it was just like, wow, the vision is Silk du Soleil meets a business event. So it was like high production, high energy all day. From that, we launched our coaching program. And it was very simple. It's like, here's our target audience. These are the women we want to work with. This is how our program works. And I don't care who comes in to offer advice on how to change things. We're going to do this until we make $1 million. That's simple. So we're on sales calls. My business partner, she's like talking to so many women that are pre-sales or like they don't make 10K a month yet. And our goal is a minimum 10K. She's like, we could start a whole other program to teach them. And I go, no. Because then you get busy, you get distracted. There's so much opportunity everywhere. But our rule is, and what I teach our clients is make $1 million doing this one thing before you do anything else.
Yeah.
Because then you've figured something out.
Yeah.
Especially if you have decent profit margins too.
Reminds me of my history too, where I was following Russell Brunson, who said one funnel, one product, $1 million. And I was putting all my energy into selling my $600 course at the time called Instagrowth Boss. But it was like there was friction and things weren't selling. I almost gave up on my business in 2019. And then I had this idea for a low ticket product, $27. And I created it. It launched, it sold like hotcakes. And actually it was that product that got me to $1 million.
Wow.
It was that product, a $27 product that turned into my first $1 million funnel. So at first I kept thinking Russell's wrong, but actually he was right. I was just focused on the wrong product that wasn't meeting my market's needs at that time. And of course I launched it right before COVID. So it was like a perfect storm.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, of people looking for low ticket trainings to get their business on Instagram. So it really is true. And sometimes we're pushing the wrong product to be the one. And that's why we need to pivot or give up or whatever the case may be. And sometimes you just have to keep looking for the right fit for your audience.
Well, and also people often fail in just launching once, right? Yeah. And sometimes you need to launch like 5 or 6 or 7 times to really figure it out, because maybe it's not the product or offer at all, and it has everything to do with how you launched.
Yeah.
My friend Callan, she launched her first AI program last spring and absolutely crushed it. But what she did to know that that was the thing that was going to work is she did micro launches with other ideas in tiny groups before, and people were just eating it up.
Yeah.
They're like, where's the bigger thing? Mm-hmm. So she just finished. Her doors just closed a few days ago, or maybe even yesterday, and they just crushed their launch. They just surpassed all expectations.
Wow.
And how they launched was just so well organized, but blew her socks off.
Mm-hmm. The same experience with me too. It's the best products, the best launches always come from, I've been talking to my audience. I have a lot of market data to prove that this is what they really want. And then I nail my messaging. I nail what's unique about my offer, my product. And it sounds so boring or it sounds so trivial, but really it's the foundational stuff that you need to have in place before you go through the motion of writing a sales page or posting about it on social media, because that's what's going to be the indicator. People care if people want to give you money, essentially. So anytime I feel myself going through the motions of a launch and I'm not excited by it, that's my indicator that I haven't dug deep enough on my messaging. So if I'm not excited, this doesn't feel fresh to me, my audience is not going to care. And I'm always right.
Well, and the big shift too is, it used to be in the world of social was how many followers do you have? And now, do you know Caleb Ralston? He was the content guy behind Hermosi's, Gary Vee.
Okay.
So he figured out the content game, and he's right now we're in an era that trust is the most important thing. Trust as in, is this AI generated content? Mm-hmm. Trust is how authentic are you? So right now it's so important that as founders, we are showing up ourselves online, regardless how big the company is or how small it is. Yeah. And sharing the truth of our experience and sharing the truth of our product or services and what we're really trying to do.
Yeah.
That's how people sell today.
I 100% agree. That's why we're seeing the rise of vlogs on both TikTok and Instagram. We're seeing the rise of founder brands. I know personal brands have been around for a long time, but really founders telling the story of their day-to-day and people getting behind it is making them care more about their products and offers. And it's kind of the new way to grow. Even when I post content that's used to work for me a couple years ago and is not aligned in this way, it doesn't perform. People don't want a perfect, pretty carousel post. They don't want the polished news reporter version of myself. And I'm an elder millennial. I'm used to the perfect version being published. And it's hard for me to get used to vlogging or not being done up really. But it's my personal challenge that I'm giving myself, because I really think it's the way to stay alive in this industry.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
People want to just see you. And you think about like, Instagram's really great at delivering the right ads. And I see new products and services come up all the time. And the first thing I go to, if I'm like, oh, this looks like a really great thing, maybe it's the best like croissant ever, I always go to the About Us section on websites all the time. Who is the person behind this?
So true.
Then I'm like, do they look like authentic, trustworthy people? Then I can probably trust that when they say it's organic, it really is. Or if it's ethically made, it really is. So people want to see the faces. And that's actually the theme for our event this year too. It's really about women showing up, being louder and being seen. Because we've always been like hiding ourselves for so long.
Good girls.
Yes. And we can still be good girls, but like, let's break some rules.
Yeah.
Like more rules. Please.
Tell me more about this Pink Skirt project and this event. When and where is it and who's it for? And what are you loving talking about right now on social media?
So the event is July 9th and 10th in Kelowna, BC.
Okay. I might be in Canada at that time.
Yes. So we're expecting 450 plus people.
Wow.
So it was 300 last time. They say don't launch your first big event with that many people. We did it. Not only did we do it, but we were highly profitable, which is unheard of when it comes to events. So we're like, okay, check, we did that. Our approach to it wasn't just a business conference or to give you the same old stuff. Yes, the content was going to be good. The speakers were going to be great. But we pumped so much energy into that room all day from 7 a.m. till 5 p.m. There's crazy stories that happened afterwards. Like one of the ladies was driving home after the event and out of nowhere, her sunroof shattered in her vehicle.
Wow.
She goes, I was driving and I was just vibing. Like there was just, I was cracked open and then my sunroof.
Oh, her aura, her energy cracked it.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I was like, okay, we did something.
Oh.
So the event was a game changer for many women in believing in themselves, in that confidence. There were women in that room that had never been to an event like that, didn't know anybody. And they trusted me when they said, hey, Renee, I don't know anybody. I go, just show up and I promise you, you'll get new friends instantly.
Yeah.
Little pockets formed in like different cities across Canada that are doing like Pink Skirt Vancouver, Pink Skirt Toronto, and they're making their own events because of it. And that's exactly what we wanted to achieve. It was like the community that I always wanted that I never had. And I remember the moment that I knew this needed to happen. I was at a mastermind 2 years ago in Charleston with Jenna Kutcher and Amy Porterfield and Cody Sanchez and like these people that I admire, 30 of us. And I was one that was invited thinking, who am I to sit at this table and provide any sort of business advice to these people whose books I've bought, whose courses I bought. And it was the end. As we were leaving, I remember Amy Porterfield came up to me and she's like, here's my phone number. Just take it for funsies. Let's stay in touch. And I was like, whoa, okay.
Yeah.
And she held my hands and she's like, Renee, you're not here because of what you do. You're here because of who you are. And I'd never been invited to think of my presence that way. Then like people actually want me here just because of this, not because of any accolades or letters behind my name or numbers in my bank account. I want more people to feel that way. They can show up and they can sit next to someone they admire and just know they're in a safe place. So that's why I created the Pink Skirt Project. And the pink skirt is really symbolic in representing what it means to put your armor on, to go and do something crazy and audacious and just know that you're going to land somewhere and you'll be safe.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I'm building.
Yeah. I love it. Having an in-person event of 350 people show up shows true influence to me. It's not about the social media following, but the fact that you had people pause their life, travel, come to Kelowna, BC, which is not the easiest place to get to, and show up and spend those days with you really shows to me that you are an influencer and you deserve to be in that room with Jenna and Amy and all those big names. So yes, it makes sense completely to me.
And then what the cool thing about it too is, and thank you for that, by the way, is at the time when I started this and we started selling tickets, I think I had like 15,000 people following me on Instagram. Right now, I have only 22,000, which is a lot for some, but is by no means a lot for a lot of people. I was still able to do that and make money. And so I know a lot of people are like, I'm not there yet. And even like Alex Hermosi shared a story about a woman who makes, I think, over $1 million a year in her business. And her number one sales channel is Instagram. And she has like 400 followers.
Wow.
So like, why do we think this metric is the thing that's going to make us successful? It's really just, she's super niche and she's authentic. People trust her.
Yeah.
So like, whatever you're selling, I need it. Yes. Bye.
It's so simple. Be niche, be authentic. And yet sometimes we have these barriers, mostly internal, that block us from even wanting visibility, from even wanting to be seen. A lot of us have to do that work to figure out how do we shake those things off. And you talk a little bit about this rich girl energy. What does that mean for you? Where does that play into your life today?
It's everything. I mean, it even like goes with the question you asked about raising non-entitled children. It really started when Dan got his first supercar, so my husband, and it was the only McLaren in the province. So it was like for the car buffs, they wanted to see this car. And in my mind, I associated anything fancy with being greedy or taking advantage of people. Mm-hmm. And I know Dan, and we don't do that. Like, we give back to community all the time. So it was so hard for me to sit in that car, to be seen in that car, because I didn't want to be judged by being that greedy person.
You definitely get looks in that car.
Oh my gosh, it's so many looks. And then for the people who didn't know us, like, they're like, who is this woman? And I didn't want that attention.
Yeah.
And this was only recently, because December of last year, at this point, we had collected, I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 supercars. And I was like, okay, I'm okay with this now. But we got to walk around and we went to 5 charities on this one day in December. And we distributed of our own money $250,000 to charity. And that was only the half of it for the entire year. And I didn't do this to like prove it to anybody. We did it to inspire others. And also to say that you can still go out and make all the money that you want to make and not be a jerk. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you can actually give back to the community. Like, how are all of these nonprofits and charities supported anyway? It's by the affluent people who have the money to write checks. And they can have nice things. And sure, there's greedy people, but there's greedy people from every walks of life. So finally got comfortable not only sitting in the car, but now like telling Dan what car I want to drive that week and him delivering it. Because the rich girl energy has nothing to do with how much money you have in your bank or the lavish things you have in your life, but actually believing that you deserve the greatness of whatever's in front of you. If it's your health, if it's your family, if it is a nice car, if it is like an upgraded home, whatever. It's like, why can't we just feel rich and have that energy? Because if you're a trusted person, then people see you in that, then it inspires them to change their life as well. Mm-hmm. So that's why I did that.
I love that. It feels a little bit like manifestation to me, but also stepping into that identity, that version of yourself who already has everything that you desire. And I remember when I was working in Toronto and had student debt, making maybe 40, 50K a year, surviving after school, after my education. But I remember some practices would stress me out, like trying to track how much money I was spending at Starbucks. And I decided then, I don't know if it wasn't intentional, but I just decided then I'm never going to track how much money I'm spending at Starbucks. And the other thing was, I'm not going to look at the prices of the clothing that I really want to buy. I want to walk into Zara, Aritzia, whatever I was shopping at the time. And I just want to find the clothes that make me look and feel good and not worry about the price. And I started those practices before I even had the money that we talk about now in the online world to show proof of our life and our income. But I think just those tiny little practices helped me tap into what was my version of rich girl energy. And then the money actually did start to follow soon after. And I feel like if I was still trying to hold myself to my current budget or it's a hard balance because you don't want to, I'm not saying to irresponsibly spend, but what are the practices that put you in that downward feeling, that feeling of guilt, that feeling of I'm not enough? And how can you reverse them to make them feel like I'm not going to do that anymore? I'm going to stay in my power and stay feeling positive about money and trust that it will come. And it did come.
I always look up at the sky and I'm just like, God, show me the way.
Yeah.
Well, the other night I was walking with my youngest, Noah, who's 12, and he's like my biggest cheerleader for whatever I do in life. It's like I need him with me all the time because he's so cute about it. But we were walking past Zimmerman, which isn't like super high-end like Chanel, but it's expensive stuff. And they just finished changing their window display. And there was this sweater, and it was just so captivating to me. I was like, I want that sweater so badly. And I'm rarely like this with clothing.
Mm-hmm.
And like Noah and I were holding hands walking to dinner, and he's hungry. And he goes, yeah, Mama, you should get it. And I go, you know what, baby, it's probably like $1,000 or $2,000. And honestly, I don't need it. Plus, we're traveling to a hotter destination.
Right.
So we walk 10 more steps, and he looks at me and he goes, nope. No, we're going to go in and we're going to ask how much it is and you're going to try it on. And I said, okay, fine. So I go in and I go, Noah, you ask him how much it is. So he goes, excuse me, sir, how much is that sweater in the window? So they're taking
Barcelona.
This is like,
everyone's speaking Spanish. Okay, I like it. So confident.
They take it down and I like hold it and I touch it and I'm like, you know, I really like this sweater. I look at the price and it was like 700 euros. And I'm like, okay. So I said, I don't have time now, but we're here for another week. If it's still on my mind, I'll come back and try it on. So we're sitting at dinner and he's like, are you going to get it? Are you going to get it? And I was like, I don't know. So we go home. The next morning, I have a photo shoot with my friend Alexa and Dem. And right before that, Dan was like checking our bank account. It's like, oh, dude, we must have got like a refund or something because we got a lot of extra cash in the bank account. And I was like, Like I already know that it's available to me anytime I want. But it's almost like I needed this approval to go and get it. And I was like, you know what? It was meant for me because I was the first person to see the change in the window display. I went in and not only did I ask how much it is, but the guy that was working there said that Lana Del Rey wore it in Paris for Paris Fashion Week. And I love her. Of course. So I'm like, okay.
Sign after sign.
Yeah. And I tried it on and it fit perfectly. Exactly. And being a tall woman, it was like, oh my God, it actually covers the length of the arm.
It is rare to get clothes that fit you when you're tall. Yeah.
So anyways, all this to say, I got it. And I never felt guilty. I felt like all of the permission slips were there for me to go and get this sweater.
Yeah.
And I think about all those times in my life too, where it's like I waited on making a decision, whether it was a course or a program or going to an event or a conference, knowing I had to be there and do the thing. And sometimes like it's a bit much. Like I remember hiring employees that put us into the red for a month, but just knowing the next month it'll be like 10x. But believing that you deserve it.
Yeah.
And I do. Like the sweater's great. I haven't worn it yet. It's been too hot out.
Yeah. Yeah, so much of it does come down to your mindset, your belief about yourself, your confidence, and then trusting that a lot of these things, the money, the material things will follow. It can be so difficult when you're living paycheck to paycheck or your business is just getting started and you haven't even gotten your first client yet. Is there any advice you'd give to someone who really wants to step into their rich girl energy, but their reality is not quite there yet?
So the reality always comes after believing that you deserve it. And that's why like we say put on the pink skirt. And some people don't like the pink skirt, whatever it is, put on the thing that empowers you. You know, to some people it's like the red lipstick or it's a hat or it's glasses or something, and be in that. Because the more that you're in that energy, the more it expands and the more you actually attract those things. And sometimes you'll get clarity in those moments where, oh geez, I need to fire this client because I don't have room or space for this one that's going to pay me more. And it's like, you got to take the chance. But it's the believing. It's kind of like confidence. Confidence doesn't come from studying it. You don't build it from watching a video. You build it by doing.
Yeah.
And the more you can do, the more you can prove to yourself that you can.
Yeah. I love the idea of an alter ego or an item that makes you feel like you are this person who already has it. And I my middle name is Elise. And my first name is Brittany. And so when I started my online brand, I went with Elise Darma, which is like a butchered version of my real name. And without realizing it, I had created an alter ego of myself. The Elise Darma is the person who is successful. She's the Instagram educator. She's confident. She's not afraid of what people think. But truthfully, Brittany, who I really am, I have
so
all
crazy
these
to me.
concerns. Yeah. You know, it really was a great way for me to create my online persona and separate it from my real life and be able to be in the online space for over 10 years now.
Crazy.
Because I fell into this concept of creating a persona that I could step into when I went live or when I posted. It's really served.
It is
well.
empowering. I did that with the pink skirt.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I actually travel with it. It's with me. And
Oh, yeah?
I would do the photo shoots and the video shoots, and it's coming with us to Dubai and Thailand and Australia.
Yeah. I'll post the reel too of what your son made. The transition reel with the pink skirt.
Oh, it's so good.
I loved it.
Yeah.
All right. Are you up for a few rapid fire questions?
Thank you for let's go. Am I ready?
Let's see. Okay. So along the themes of what we've discussed today, rapid fire with Renee Warren, what is your go-to rich girl splurge?
Oh, I would say bags. I love bags.
Designer bags?
Just a good quality bag.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Similar to that question, what's one thing that makes you feel instantly abundant?
Really good lipstick. You're wearing a great color right now.
Thank you.
Yeah. A really good lipstick.
It's one of the Kylie Jenner colors, but I did my color theory recently, so I'm all about the raspberries and the cool tone reds, so I'm putting it into practice. All right, next question. First thing you'd buy if you made $10 million tomorrow?
My parents' a new home. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Where are they now?
In Ottawa.
In Ottawa.
Yeah.
Okay, nice. There's some nice homes on the lake in Ottawa. Yeah, Yeah. What's the one piece of advice you'd give your 20-year-old self?
Oh, my gosh. If I met 20-year-old Renee, I'd say get the nose job sooner. And try a little harder.
Yeah. Segue to that, I do respect the fact that you did post online about having cosmetic surgery, and now even bringing it up now, it really shows a lot of confidence, because in today's day and age, you know, a lot of people will do things and not address it, especially with being an online brand. How do you feel about having put that out there now?
It changed my life. I always there's old pictures of me, and I wouldn't have been able to do my event. I probably would have been very uncomfortable actually being interviewed by you right now.
Really?
Oh, yeah. It was that big of a deal for me. So it's a game changer. And I spent 30 years debating, 30 years thinking people are going to judge me, shame me, make fun of me. And guess what happened? The opposite.
Yeah.
I had so much support. It was crazy.
People are supporting you for being honest about it and also asking you questions. Who's your doctor? Because I've also wanted to.
I've seen a handful of people that have since gotten a nose job. I was like, oh, now I feel bad. But they show me their before and after, and I'm like, okay, I understand now.
Yeah.
And there's the level of confidence in these people's lives. For me too, because it was the one thing that was stuck out. And the only support I needed was my husband. And it took me 5 years to convince him.
Yeah.
And finally one day he's like, okay, you've been asking a lot.
And did it change how, your identity, how you saw yourself, your self-worth?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I think, it changed so much. For me, it was just the confidence. Because I always thought it was the one thing that people are looking at. And when you look at the work that they did, it's not massive. It's subtle.
Yeah.
Which is exactly what we wanted.
Yeah.
So it just looks like a normal nose.
You look like you.
And it's normal nose.
Yeah. You look like you. Yeah. Well, I really respect that you put that out there, especially as a woman. I'm getting closer to my 40s, and I can feel the pressure of, I've been online. I don't want to look older. There's all these aging techniques. Do you be honest with it or not? So I really respect that you put that out there. Back to our rapid fire questions. What's in your purse right now that screams rich girl energy?
Probably nothing.
Especially when you're traveling Barcelona.
My credit card. What is in my purse right now? There's nothing except for really good chargers.
Yes, to keep your phone going.
It's like a Cadillac of chargers. I don't know.
Well, yes. One thing about Barcelona is you leave your nice things and valuables at home.
No, other than my ring, but no nice jewelry on.
Yeah, smart. Yeah. Do you have a rich girl song that you'll play when you need to get pumped up?
Unstoppable by Sia.
I like it. Do you play it in the mornings or?
I haven't played it in a while.
Yeah.
But the one part I love is she says, I'm a Porsche with no brakes. I was like, that's my favorite car. And I know this because we have one. And I understand that for me, it was like, I'm a high-end vehicle that is just full send going. And get out of my way.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah. I'm totally picked that up from your branding recently too. Your photos, your videos, it's just like confidence and putting it out there and not worrying about other people's feelings and their judgment because that's for them to deal with.
100%.
And I know that's why we hold ourselves back so much.
I've offended people with the stupidest things. It's hilarious.
Really? With your branding?
No, just with like sharing some things. Like I shared one post about, remember the recorder? In like grade 7 and 8.
Yeah.
Really annoying.
My son has one. Yep.
Now you're like, oh. Yeah. There was a post that some like meme account shared. It was like a picture of that flute recorder thingy saying they spent a whole year teaching us how to play this, but most people can't even figure out their taxes.
Yes, I've seen that.
And I was like, oh, have facts. And I just reshared it. That was it. And I got, 4 comments. People, like one woman direct messaged me this whole poem, a resume or whatever it was about how I shouldn't disgrace learning music. I was like, oh wait, I said nothing about learning music. I think music is very important. So that was like a very gentle nudge saying it doesn't matter what you do or say, you will offend somebody.
Yeah.
So now I'm like, you know what? Just bring it. Like,
I know. There's someone to be offended about everything. And I always remind myself of that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Designer bag or business class ticket? What gets your money first?
Oh, business class, 100%.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Convenience over a nice bag.
I agree. Yeah. I have a rule. If the flight is over 5 hours, business class or a lay flat seat.
Yeah. Even today on my way here, because getting a cab in Barcelona is impossible, I was like, if I just had a private driver, I would sell my watch for this. Yeah.
I actually have not purchased a designer bag yet because every time I go into the shops right around the corner, I'm like, ooh, $2,000, or it could be a flight to Kenya or wherever, it does.
Yeah,
I put it on
thing, right?
It's currently
you know what? Some of these things are best gifted to you. Hint, hint.
Hint, hint, everyone. Yeah. All right, last question. Private chef or private driver?
Private driver.
Really?
Yeah.
Who does the cooking at home?
We have meal prep. I guess I don't know if that I know we've had a chef at home before, and I was like, it was just exhausting with like all the accoutrements. Definitely just ease of getting anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially when you're traveling, and you're going to be doing a lot of traveling coming up.
Oh, yeah.
So how can people follow along your journey and stay in touch with you?
Sharing everything on Instagram, Renee_Warren, podcast 2, Into the Wild. People can subscribe.
Yeah.
Leave a review.
I was listening to you this morning, and you're just like such a great voice to have in your ear while you're doing your makeup, because like I said, you're a wonderful cheerleader for women, and you really do have a whole range of experiences. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but when you're married to Dan Martell, who's got this really big online brand now, people probably make assumptions about you or judgments about you, but you have such a rich history of entrepreneurship yourself. You've done and accomplished so much yourself. And it's really great to get to know that person, beyond an Instagram post. So I highly recommend listening to Renee's chats on her podcast.
Oh yeah, I'm always going to be me.
Yeah.
And more me as you get into the 40s. I call it the give no F's 40s, where you literally just stop caring so much about other people's opinions. And I actually was thinking about this the other day when I'm like on Instagram looking at how women have shifted their bodies in the 40s to like be more muscular. And of course now my whole feed is like half naked women.
Yeah.
And I'm like, God, there's so many beautiful women out there. This is crazy. And it occurred to me, it's like, there are these assumptions that maybe a man like my husband would be with a woman that looks like that. And I'm like, but that's not the case. Yeah. And so people make assumptions of me. They make judgment consciously or not. And I am often not that person at all.
Yeah.
Because I'm goofy and fun and lighthearted.
Yeah.
Can be serious. And I think that's like the biggest attraction for my community too. It's just that authenticity. And you know what? It's the easiest thing. It's the easiest thing because you remember all your stories.
Yeah.
Because they're the truth.
Yeah. I actually really like following you for your Instagram stories because that's where I get to see that more behind the scenes look at who you are and your personality and all those things behind the polished posts that we all tend to do. So yeah, I think both you and I look forward to both of us exploring our founder stories, sharing more of the raw, real behind the scenes, especially as you're traveling with your kids. It's like such a cool journey to follow along. Yeah.
I get to see you in person.
Yeah.
And I'm so excited for you growing your family.
Me too. I'm excited for this new chapter. Selfishly, one last question. I'm about to have my second baby. And what's your advice for me welcoming baby number 2 into the family while I'm still part-time running a business?
So I learned something lately that I wished I would have known when I first had my babies is the sheer importance of the mother-child bond in the first 2 years of their life. And it's like your main focus is that bond. And then your husband's main focus is protecting the foundation of the home so that you can have that.
Oh,
so it's
I like that.
That is like rest, recuperate, get as much help as you can in home and in business. And he's making sure that this is a sanctuary for you to have that bond.
That makes a lot of sense looking back on my last 2 years. My son is 2. And my postpartum experience and how work became so secondary and such less of a priority. And all I cared about was not missing the moments with my son. And I became such an emotional person, crying at the drop of a hat and questioning who am I, but also feeling like I was really tapping into my deepest inner self in becoming a mom. So thank you for being here in Barcelona.
Having me.